what I wanted to explain is, to me, it's a very basic and somewhat funny, not rule, but setup we have, uh, which we normally don't think much about. But there are books, it is described in many ways, but it can be summarized or in a nutshell what it looks like. Um, I would start with the idea of some people who lived many years ago. If they would like to have rain, then they would dance around the fire. And now we think it's kind of crazy, and those things are not connected. But uh, those guys would get their rain, and we don't know statistics how often they would have rain after they dance. We don't know about that, and probably they would be quite satisfied with their approach, and it would work for them. Uh, so nowadays we're doing exactly the same things, but um, because of so many years we've been living in a previous era, which would set certain rules and certain relationships between facts, and uh, scientific approach was so strong lately, and people would believe if science or scientists would say something, it is like that. But actually, if you just look wider on the subject, you would see that sometimes it's enough to read advertising or uh, articles one dated 100 or a little bit more than 100 years ago. It is sometimes fun, but sometimes it's just crazy how people would treat, for example, kids with some drugs because they have cough or something. Like you can find it yourself. It's not like fake stories. It's an actual misunderstanding of things. People would say, okay, if I have a headache, I should take this. If my kid is coughing, I should give that. And those things, I don't remember exactly what, like opium on and some actual drugs or some stuff which now considered poisonous. Before, people would just use it. And also in makeup, also in some, mostly makeup and medical application of some stuff was just crazy. And so what, people believed in that, and scientists did not say anything else about that. They would say it's okay. So uh, how uh, scientifically proven is that? Now we're saying no. Of course we know, but is it possible that now we also think about some stuff the same way? We think A equals B when it's not. The main idea, as I see it, is that if you um, want something to happen, you see some, I think they are called resolution factors. Uh, you see some ways through which that can be done. And the trick is that if you believe that A equals B, that will work for you. But on the same, the uh, opposite part of this statement is that if you don't want to believe that A equals B, you can do something differently. Just uh, check your belief, what it came from, uh, mm, who actually made you believe it is so, and where you learned that, who those people were who set up this rule or this regulation or whatever, like even decided that it is a fact. Because I'm not a big specialist in mathematics or all those physics and like all those systems which were offered by different authors. Like Descartes offered one approach, Einstein offered another approach. Like different, uh, even scientists, they look on the same subjects from different perspectives. And now we're saying, oh, of course, it's just the way to look at it. It's just an angle, a perspective to look at certain thing. But the question is, are you comfortable with that or not? Because, like, the major idea is to get, you are somewhere and you want to get something like, that's the result you want to get. And you are thinking of a resolution factor which will work, which will lead to that result or result in that thing. And many assumptions are made which may or may not be true. Like, for example, if I want to get married, what should I do? Or maybe I should start using makeup, or maybe not. Depends. Or maybe if I want to get married, maybe I should go out more. And that would bring me to meeting somebody and actually having a family. Or maybe I should, what should I, so what is the resolution factor which would bring me to where I want to be? And as I said, the funny thing is that most of those resolution factors are taken from somewhere, and they are not exactly our own ones, because we just believed to somebody, or we just trusted somebody who said that it works like that. But does it work for us? That's a good question. And the crazy thing is that here can be that dancing around the fire. And some funny, there is a certain, at least I know a few organizations which would promote having fun and making new rules. Like if you take in your purse, for example, and put a charger like just inside your purse and leave it like that for overnight, that will bring you money. Why not? Or if you, I don't know. So they make connections which are not there, but they create them with fun and happiness, and they actually work, because there are there is nothing which is completely strongly connected. And I know people who would say instantly, okay, you need oxygen to breathe, or you you can't do anything with gravity, or something like that. And again, it's a question of like how many people believe in certain fact, and how do we, how often have we seen any other approaches? So if like everybody believes that there should be oxygen in our air in order for us to live, okay, that's kind of the most, that connection is the strongest. And probably we will not meet those people who believe something else, just because they would be so different, they would be so outside the central part, like the biggest part of the population who so strongly believe it is like that. They will be somewhere like, is it possible to live like 200 or 400 years who knows? Maybe there are people, but uh, imagine they are there. Would they tell us about that? Would they want to be treated the way we would probably treat them? Like we would research them, cut in pieces, and learn how they did that, or just um, our belief would be that it's not possible. So in our reality, we will not see them. And uh, again, I find it pretty comical to argue about gravity and oxygen or something like that. Then most of our decisions and everyday situations are not like that. We are not arguing that if I go on a surface on the earth, I wouldn't go through, I would not fall through because it's solid and I'm going on top, and I will not fly into the air because there is gravity. That's not the point. The most important things o- mostly in our lives are that we want to achieve little things, like, oh, I want to get from the point A to point B. I want to buy something. I want to somebody to do something. I want just like so many little things. I want that jacket to be there when I come to a store. I want my cat not to be lost when I come home. I want my kid to understand that I don't know, rule of mathematics or whatever. We are talking about mm, thousands of little things which are not so strictly depend on anything. We come up with some explanations, possible explanations, but instead of it's kind of working uh, good in two situations. Either you strongly believe there is a way to get from A to B. Like if you really believe that you should work hard and that's the only way to get some money, then work hard and you probably will get it because that's your strongest belief. So for you it will work. Or if you don't have those strong beliefs, create your own which you are comfortable with, because if you have a choice to do something under pressure, under duty, under unpleasant feelings, and do something because you're happy and you're enjoying yourself, what would you choose? And why you would choose something to be miserable and to be a victim and to be kind of, oh, it's life, that's just life, we can change it, we can't do anything about that. Did you try to do anything about that actually? Because the question mostly is what do you want? It's impossible. Okay, maybe it's impossible, but let's talk about what you want. Like, what is it there? Do you actually want that? And how you would feel when you get it? Just phrase it. But people, me also not an exception, unfortunately, sometimes that we think, okay, I wouldn't even start thinking about that because it's impossible. No, just think what you want and let, like somebody I know would say, in the universe would provide. Yeah, maybe it's a funny phrase, but that's exactly how it works. Like, would you care how it will be done? It's just the resolution factor. It's something, it's like ritualization. If you believe in certain ritual, like for example, if you would behave like that, if you would look like that, you will find happiness in marriage. Isn't that just a ritual which you believe in, or is it an actual stuff which can change the situation? uh, how do you know? You can do whatever, what is your belief and what you feel good about, and as soon as it would not harm anybody else, just try to first say what you want, and second try to do something which is happening kind of easily and the way you want it to like do it the way you want to do it, instead of listening to somebody who would experience that, but they are different people, not you, who again scientifically proved that it is like that. Also they could be wrong, and like so many questions why you would choose somebody's way of doing stuff instead of living your own life. That's a to me is a very interesting topic, and it is closely related to that discussion of Aquarius era and what was before and the biggest change we're going through. So that's it. I think.